We passed a bill to address the problem. It's time now for the president to get in this game, get off the sidelines, and let's start negotiating and figuring this out, not in June when we get to the midnight hour, but today. We have a lot of time to get this done.
The Republicans are demanding hostage negotiations where they will crash the full faith and credit of the United States. That would raise the rates that your viewers are paying on credit cards or student loans or mortgages. It would throw our country into recession and hurt us globally.
Two bites that illustrate the current stalemate in Washington over the debt ceiling. And joining us now, the Democratic governor of Connecticut, Ned Lamont. Governor Lamont, great to see you. So let's just get your reaction, your perspective as a chief executive of one of our 50 states. How worried are you right now about the rhetoric here and the fact that two sides are talking past each other as the deadline approaches?
I think it's scary for governors. All that uncertainty, instability, we don't know what we can count on. Are they going to start cutting back on daycare funding, make it tougher for us to get people back to work right now? You know, thankfully in Connecticut, we've got a big $3.5 billion rainy day fund, just making sure that we're prepared if Washington can't get its act together.
So, Governor, the House Republicans did pass a bill this week that suggests like this sort of their budget proposal. Talk to us. I'm sure you and your staff have examined it. What sort of impact would it have on your state if something like this were to become law? Obviously, the Senate stands as a barrier between now and it, but this is their priorities here. This is what they're trying to get done. What would it look like?
Well, like I said, I think daycare slots would shrink dramatically, making it tougher to get people back to work. SNAP benefits would cut back. That means with, high inflation, especially when it comes in the grocery stores, making food a little less affordable for folks most in need. And eventually all that discretionary funding would start trickling out instead of what we had expected. It makes us revisit our budgets.
Governor, I see that you've recently proposed cutting taxes in Connecticut. Just kind of tying this into the debt negotiations, if we're looking at a situation where the U.S. is running large deficits, I mean, is it possible in this environment to keep cutting taxes? Aren't we going to have to at some point raise revenue in order to finance American spending?
Well, Connecticut's in a very different position than the federal government. We've had a balanced budget, in fact, a surplus for 4 straight years in a row. So I think the people of Connecticut deserve a tax cut. It's a middle-class tax cut. It's going to save the average homeowner about $50-60 a month. Makes a difference. And that's a very different place than where Connecticut was, say, 5-10 years ago.
Perhaps some of the negotiators up on Capitol Hill from other states ought to be looking at your example and finding out what you're doing. Let's talk about abortion. You've suggested to businesses that they can come to your state because in Connecticut abortion is still legal. How much are you? We keep hearing that in states that are restricting abortion, like in Florida, where Ron DeSantis signed that 6-week bill into law in the middle of the night, that it could potentially have a knock-on impact on businesses if they're looking at some of those red states and thinking, do we actually want to do business there? Do you think it's actually going to translate into action, though, that you're going to start seeing some American businesses pull out of places like Texas and Florida and start coming to bluer states where abortion rules, where there are still abortion rights?
I think so, Katty. It used to be, look, I'm a progressive person. I can live in Austin, Texas. I can live in Miami. And even though I'm in a very red state that's restricting my rights, I feel more free in those towns. That's not the case anymore. They're restricting rights across the board in those states. And I think that is good for Connecticut. We're fighting for individual rights, fighting for your right to choose, fighting for teachers being able to teach what they want to teach and books that you want to read. And we have a fair number of teachers coming to Connecticut for that very same reason.
Governor, I'm curious, would maybe an option for Congress and the president to consider would be to repeal some of the most regressive Trump tax cuts so they don't have to slash social spending and social funding that's led to extraordinary successes, like, for instance, the lowest childhood poverty rate in 50, 60 years.
Hey, Joe, nice to see you. Look, what they do down in Washington, D.C., I think it makes a lot of sense to get back to the tax rates you had pre-Trump. I think your budget was more balanced. You're able to make investments. And you're not going to have this topsy-turvy that's going to impact the budget and make life hell for governors and the people we serve over the next 6 months until they get this debt cliff settled. I think that's very unsettling for a lot of us right now. And I think that the president's got a budget on the ground right now that moves towards balance slowly.
So, Governor, I want to ask you, I know you very well, and Annie, I know the state of Connecticut very well, and I love it. I followed the politics of Connecticut for over the past 15 years or so, and it's been absolute chaos fiscally. There's been, I mean, just debt piled higher and higher, taxes going higher and higher. I'm curious, when you came in, you said we've got to take care of this budget meltdown because it was a complete fiscal meltdown. One of the reasons why General Electric and other companies left. But you said we can't do it by taxing, by hiking taxes on everybody. So my question is, how have you gotten from there to where you are now, where you've got a surplus? And what lessons could other governors learn from you?
Hey, Joe, you used to live in Connecticut. All is forgiven. Come on back anytime you want. Look, we came into office. We were looking at $2 billion deficits as far as the eye can see. And the first thing I wanted to do was get an honestly balanced budget without games and without raising tax rates. And that's what we did. And I like to think that sent a signal that this is, a new day in Connecticut. Now, 4 years later, we've paid down about $8 billion in our pension debt. People have been putting that on the credit card for the previous 30 years. We got a long way to go. I'll be blunt about it, but we're making progress there. And what you want to do is give the business community some certainty, some sense of direction, what the state's going to look like. And a lot of people are moving to the state, and a lot of businesses are thinking about Connecticut.
Well, I'll tell you from the very beginning, too, there was such distrust between Republicans and Democrats. I heard from the very start from my Republican friends in Connecticut that you didn't demonize anybody, that you had an open door, that despite the fact we live in such a divided time, Republicans and Democrats sat down and you invited them all in to come and sit around the table. How much of a difference does that make?
Makes a big difference. Our last budget, which was in balance, we did that on a bipartisan basis with a lot of Republican support. I'm very hopeful we're going to have a bipartisan budget this time around. That's a sort of a stark contrast to what you see in Washington. Republicans come to the table, give us your best ideas, but they got to be constructive ideas, something I can work off of.
All right. Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont, as always, thank you so much for being here. It's great seeing you again.
Okay, happy birthday to Mika tomorrow.
All right. I will pass that along. Coming